God hears the cries of the saints. And God will show his vengeance against those who have persecuted his people. And this is the sixth seal being broken. When the sixth seal is broken, all who worship the beast in his image will drink from the cup of God's wrath. Revelation chapter 16, verses 1 to 21. First, there will be excruciating sores. Second, the sea will turn to blood. And third, the river and fountain of waters will turn to blood. Fourth, humans will be burned by the sun. Fifth, there will be worldwide darkness. Sixth, the Euphrates River will dry up. And I want to read the final bowl of God's wrath, which is the seventh plague. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven, from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there were voices, and thunders, and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before God, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. There is no need to explain the seventh plague because the verse is very clear. Let's proceed to Revelation chapter 6 verses 12 to 17. And I looked when he opened the sixth seal. And a great earthquake occurred. And the sun became black as a sackcloth made of hair. And the moon became like blood. And the stars of heaven fell down to the earth as a fig tree casts its figs when shaken by a strong wind. And the sky was parted as a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island were moved from their places. And the kings of the earth and the magistrates and the military commanders and the rich, and the powerful and every slave and free person hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. And they said to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of the one sitting on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand?" Understanding the sixth seal scene needs knowledge of the fifth seal. God must now act in response to his people's petitions, who are currently experiencing injustice in a hostile environment. The judgments on those who have harmed God's people are thus depicted in the sixth seal. When Christ the Lamb opens the sixth seal, there are cosmic and cataclysmic indications that follow, including a darkening of the sun and moon, meteors descending, a disastrous earthquake, and a convulsion of the sky. These cosmic indicators serve as reminders of the same things that Jesus predicted would happen at the end, Matthew chapter 24 verse 29 and 30. Immediately after the tribulation of those days the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. As with Christ's prophecy in Matthew 24, the sun, moon, stars, meteors, and sky are literal here. The use of the words, as, or, like, paints a picture of an actual thing or event. The sun became black as sackcloth. The moon became like blood, and the stars fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its late figs. The Christians in the Western world recognized the fulfillment of Jesus' words in the order of each of these signs. The Lisbon earthquake. In 1755, the dark day of May 19, 1780, experienced in eastern New York and southern New England, and the spectacular meteor shower over the Atlantic Ocean, on November 13, 1833. The fulfillment of this prophecy, in Revelation chapter 6 verses 12 to 14 led to a series of revivals and to the realization that Christ's second coming was near. In Revelation chapter 6 verses 15 to 17, the scenes portray people of all walks of life in a panic trying to hide from the terror of the upheaval at the coming of Christ. They are asking rocks and mountains to cover them in order to protect them from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Let's read. Revelation 6 verse 16, calling to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who is seated on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. The time has arrived for justice to be dispensed as Christ comes, to be glorified in his saints. The judgment of the wicked is described in the sixth seal. The day of divine wrath has finally come. It is with Christ's coming in power and glory that the prayers of the martyred saints underneath the altar in the fifth seal scene are ultimately answered. The scene concludes with the rhetorical question of the terror-stricken wicked. The great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand? The answer to that question is given in Revelation chapter 7. Those who will be able to stand in that day are the sealed people of God, who are washed in the blood of the Lamb.